Get a job in tech, episode 200. Are you feeling in your job, you feeling like it's just monotonous, something like that? Maybe you're working in help desk right now and you want to know how can I do better? What can I do to you're working from home, let's say, and you want to take care of all emails. Maybe you have a platform like, let's say, Remedy or ServiceNow that you use for ticketing, let's say, and you get, I don't know, 200, 300 emails a day, something like that. And you just want a way to organize your day so that you can be more efficient, just really efficient. And I can kind of tell you what what a good idea is, or I can give you a suggestion basically. And it's this. So you wake up, whatever time you wake up, maybe you work at, let's say 7, maybe you work from home. See, it's a little different if you work in the office. If you work in the office, say like you wake up at 7 and you get ready, take a bath, take a shower, whatever, get dressed, and then you go to work and you're there. Let's say you're there from say 9 to 5, let's say typical day, 9 to 5. Well, it's a little different for those because you're butt in seat. So when you're there, you work, or you just sit around and do whatever and wait for something to happen to fix it. Whether you're a sysadmin, you're a help desk admin, something like that. So we're going to focus on help desk, right? Usually they get a lot of tickets. And if you're in the office, it's a little different. So let's focus more on if you're working from home. This kind of applies to office, but it's a little different because in the office, you can be you're there, so you're working, right? Versus home, you're working from home, so you have you might wake up, instead of you wake up at 7, you could probably wake up at, let's say, 6 and maybe eat a nice breakfast, eat a nice meal, get everything situated for yourself, and just get yourself ready to go to work. So you wake up at 6. You don't have to necessarily change and do all those things, but you can take a shower, you can eat, all that. Now you're ready. Now lay out your day. Think about your day. What is your day going to be like? Maybe you have a journal. You write down the things you want to accomplish for that particular day, and now you're ready. You take time for yourself before you take time to go to work. So basically, you're working on yourself. You work on yourself harder than you do on your job. And the reason you do that is because company can just say bye anytime. But those skill sets you have are you can carry with you. So if you can do anything before you start working, maybe you do an hour, maybe on Udemy, take a course on Udemy, maybe you watch it, maybe you have to rewatch it. Maybe you can read a book, a technical book, something to get you knowledge in that field. And so now to work related stuff. You start off, you sign into everything, and it's all ready before you start work. You sign in, all that. You go downstairs, you go upstairs, you go across the hall, whatever. And then you get yourself maybe a meal, maybe a little snack or whatever. Prepare yourself mentally. Okay, good. Then you go back to work and you start off with your tickets. Let's say you have tickets. You start off with the highest priority. Of course, you knock that out. If it's a customer and they're paying you money, you take care of that 100%. Don't even, that's your priority. Take care of the money. People pay money, take care of them, period. Now, the second thing is if you have emails. Well, of course you have emails. So the trick to use, or the skill to use, or the hack, I don't know what you want to call it, it's basically in your inbox. Maybe you get 300, 400 emails a day, or more, 500, whatever. You have a rule set up to where you have status updates. Maybe it's a server, maybe it's a server down, up, whatever, network up, down, VM, server, whatever it is, up, down. So you filter those and you put a rule in basically to put them in another folder. So okay, they're always there. As far as your alerts, like ticketing alerts, you do the same thing for those too. Put them in an alert, a rule, you name a folder, whatever the folder is. Let's say it's an alert. That's what you name it. you create another folder and you call it, let's say completed emails, or completed emails. Okay. Now in your inbox, you look at your inbox and you go one by one. Okay. This is email I can look at. Maybe you open it up. Okay. I can look at this email. If there's an action to be taken and it's a high priority action, take the action. Once this action is done and you've emailed it, let's say, and you want to remind yourself that you've done it, just reply to yourself that you've completed it. And then when it comes back to you, then stick it in the completed email folder. Now, if it's an email that you've read it and you don't need to do anything with it, you can either delete it if it's like an email that can be deleted, or just put it in the same folder, completed emails. So what you've done is you go through your inbox, 300 emails, 400 emails, whatever. You go one by one. And if it's an email where you can't take action on it right now, and you know you need to take action later on, just leave it in the inbox. Leave it alone. And then go through the list. One by one. Go through those emails. And then if it's something that you think you need to go back to, go leave it in your inbox. Don't delete it. That way, basically, maybe on a Friday, let's say, during the week you have 300, 400 emails, but maybe on a Friday, spend maybe an hour, let's say, just going through emails and then getting everything you've done during the week. Okay, get all that done. If there's stuff you need to answer, usually the email, like if you have an email, it's usually 2 days. Usually that's what it is, 2 days. Now, if it's a customer facing, usually you want to do it the next day because the customer needs something, or maybe even the same day, depending on what it is. And if the customer needs an answer, obviously they need an answer. When you're forming an email, you always want to say, when the customer emails you, let's say, what are they asking me? Because the customer can be vague, whatever. So you want to spell back to them and say, here's what I see your email. Here's what I think that you're asking me. And if so, here's the response. What do you think? Or what is the next action we can take on this? And that's it. You're verifying what the customer wants, or the individual. This is what I hear you saying in the email. This is what I think the answer is, the solution is. And then what do you think? And that's just a general way of corresponding with the customer, or any individual really. Could work with your coworkers too. So a lot of times you'll see an email, coworkers will just send back and forth an email, and it'd be like one or two words. Don't do that. Do it, spell it out. Per our conversation, this is what I see, et cetera, et cetera. So they know their frame of mind is always, okay, this is what they're asking for. Because a lot of people don't even read the bottom of the emails. They just ignore it. Okay, whatever. And you're spelling it out completely. Okay, good. And you're going to seem more professional too, because other people are probably going to be in that email chain as well. This is just how to keep yourself focused. Your work day. How do you approach your work day? And obviously nutrition is important. Like I said, nice meal in the morning, maybe a nice meal in the evening. And if you're working from home, this is kind of the other thing is, if you're working from home, if you have the space, if you will, put a poster board up. Maybe put a goal board up, like a goal. What do you want to do? The job obviously you have is not forever. Maybe it's a stepping stone for you. Maybe help desk is a stepping stone for you. Put up a board. You can go to any place and get a board, like a construction sheet, whiteboard or whatever. It's just where you can write on it, and just write down your goals. 5 years. Here's what you want. Maybe you can even just whatever you want. The wild idea sheet you could put down of what you want to accomplish, how much money you want to accomplish. Put that down in 5 years. What places you want to go to, because when you work from home, I'm just talking about work from home now. If you work from home, some places you have the ability to travel as well. So you could you could be working from home and you could live in another country essentially. So what does that look like? Let's say, for instance, you work help desk and your salary is, say, 80,000, let's say 80,000 a year, let's say, and you have no debt, whatever. So you go on, maybe you get an Airbnb, maybe you get another, I forget what the other thing is, Venmo, not Venmo, something else, Verbo. There you go, Verbo. And you rent a place for a month in another country, as long as they have internet. Have to have internet, of course. And if your company can structure that around, basically you'd be in another time zone in that, or you could work at the same time zone. So you go to the other country, and essentially what you're doing is you're working. Let's say you go to Norway, and you're able to work in Norway. You're quote unquote you're a tourist basically. I don't know how it works with the regulation or whatever, but you're a tourist in that country, but you're also working for a month. And during the day or the evening or whatever time it is, you go out and you experience Sweden. You experience what it's like to live there and enjoy the country to its fullest. And the weekend's the same thing. Do the same thing. And then you just hop along to different states or different countries, excuse me. So like maybe Iceland, you go to Iceland next, or maybe you go to Ireland, maybe you go to Germany, you rent a place as well. And that way you're able to see these different countries. And obviously there's a lower cost of living in some of these places, a higher cost of living in others. But if you can find, this is kind of segueing to another thing, is training. When you go somewhere, I know India, for instance, is a great place to go because the training is very, very low cost. You got Goa, you have Shimla, you have Delhi or New Delhi, you have Bombay. Koenig Solutions, that's the company, KOENIG Solutions-solutions.com. They have a lot of good training, and they put you up in the hotel as well. So obviously you're working from home. Maybe you have to work that out where you have a different time schedule. Maybe you work your full 8 hours while living in India, and you got to make sure the internet's good because some places in India. And then the rest of the time, maybe you have a 4-hour window of training, and then you're there for a month. So if the course normally takes a week to complete, maybe it's CCNA, let's say, for instance, or 2 weeks a week, then you can split it up. You can kind of have an agreement or an arrangement with the training center to say, you're going to teach me, let's say, for 4 hours a day. And in a month's time, you're going to have that skill set. Thailand is another place as well. IPSOL.net, I think, is the website. And they're in, I think, Chiang Mai or Bangkok, one of those places. And the hotels are like $15 a day. And they have great internet. I know that. They have great internet. And it's a great place too. And you can go there for your CCNA as well. Get your CCNA and other certifications from them. And it's really just living the dream. Just living the dream. Because 5 years from now, if you feel like you want to travel and you're tied down to this job, let's say, then that's an alternative for you to do that. Obviously, it's not the $290 a year, $290,000 a year. This would be a job that would be more flexible. Maybe you make $80,000 a year. But if you don't have any bills or responsibilities and you have a great passport, then take advantage of it. All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next one.